Trapping plays a very important role in modern-day wildlife management. Professional wildlife biologists monitor fur-bearer populations to maintain a healthy and sustainable harvest of this important, renewable natural resource. Trapping provides recreation and income for licensed trappers across this country. Hoosier Trapper Outdoors is brought to you by Hoosier Trapper Supply. J3 Outdoors, manufacturer of the Hags Bracket and Body Trap Spring Clip. Leatherwood Creek Trapping Scents. Weeby Knives and Fur Handling Tools. HTS Productions. Hoosier Trapper Deer Scents. And Leatherwood Wildlife Art.
All right, thanks for joining us for this episode 3 of Hoosier Trapper Outdoors Season 6. On this episode, we will have check day 5 on the Arkansas trap line. And as I've been saying, as soon as we're run our, do all the check days on the Arkansas line, then we will go back to our chronological order of the season. So then we'll go to muskrat trapping or water trapping in Michigan, and then South Dakota snaring with Mark Steck, and then we'll wind it all up in New Mexico on a predator line. So we've got all that to look forward to for this season. I want to take this time to invite you to the Fur Takers of America Chapter 7B Rendezvous. It's, I'll tell you what, it is, I always call it the family reunion of trappers, or the Trappers Family Reunion. It's just a good, fun, relaxed day. We've got plenty of demos. We've got so many demos, we're running some of them back to back. We've got games for the kids. We've got a fundraiser auction at the end of the day. And I'll tell you, it's tough to say which one is better, the demos or the food, but we have great food. We'll start out the morning with coffee and donuts, and the lunch will be Jim Mahoney's famous rendezvous stew, cooked over a fire, along with pulled pork and that type of stuff for lunch. It's everything's free. Lunch is a free will donation. Any money that is raised through lunch proceeds and through the auction at the end of the day all goes to Fur Takers of America Chapter 7B. So, we've got people that drive in from out of state. If you need hotel information, call and let us know. We can put you in touch with a few. But anyways, it's always a really good, fun day, and hope you can join us for that, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
Check day 5, just getting kind of started here. Foggy morning, but at least it's not raining like yesterday. We already got a little action here early, which is good. Got a gray fox there hidden. Looks like we got him by both front feet. Right here's the set. We've had action at this location every night. Either coming in from the back or stuff pushed down into the hole. Charlie's got one further up this lane. He had some issues with digging, or I'm not really sure what his set looked like, but he had some action going on too. But finally connected here on the 5th day. Traps were never fired, so they just kept coming back to see what was going on in that dirt hole with that top dog. Pretty cool.
That curiosity eventually gets them, but
yeah,
has the patience to wait them out. So.
Yeah, all I did after I noticed that first time is I kind of a little bit heavier fencing when hit the rock there, of course, and then I added, there's part of the stick that's been thrown out, and there's a stick over here. It was trying to funnel him in, pinch point him a little bit better, and I don't know if that might have been the reason why we caught him, but got him now anyway.
You know what?
What's
It's not raining today either.
Yeah, that's what I'm proud about. We're having to remake everything today.
Jake's got a setback over here on this side, and I'm on this side of the road, and there's a possum over here. I'm gonna take care of him, but it's kind of funny. We've caught more possums in the past couple days than we've caught probably in 3 or 4 years down here combined. I mean, we just typically just don't catch them. So I don't know if there's been an upswing in the possum population or what. I don't think, and I've been saying on this trip, I don't think the coyote population is what it has been in the past, which I suppose for the locals here is a good thing. Certainly in the sections that we're in, we haven't seen near the sign of coyotes as in the past. So what we're doing is, ever since yesterday we had a lot of rain, it was a pretty miserable day. We're going in, and then now it's supposed to get cold too, and so we're going in. We're pulling the trap out of the bed. We're putting some cover holes down to give a little barrier against the wet dirt in the trap, and then using cover holes to cover the trap, and then we're putting some dry dirt on that to blend it, or as dry dirt as we can find to blend it over the top. We so far hadn't been using any cover holes at all because the weather's been really nice and dry, and the nights have been warm. But that's what we're doing at this point, just to prepare for the next 3 days, which I don't think we're really supposed to get any more rain, but it's going to get quite a bit colder. And a lot of times when they'll say, in a certain town that it's going to be this, but out here in the mountains it gets quite a bit colder than what the weather forecast says. Like the other morning it was 19. So anyways, that's what we're doing, and we'll show you this possum since we're not catching a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, this morning it's early, so. So it's a nice one, Justin. No comment?
You caught it.
Got a gray fox.
All right.
This is the same location I caught the cat in first check day. Got a gray fox today, so.
Cool. This. So we've had 2 grays and a bobcat right here.
Yep.
On this location. So, and here again we got a history here. It's always been good, but I think this is one of the better years.
Yeah. Yep.
So
kind of wondered with all that rain and stuff we had yesterday if these sets would be up to par, and second gray fox of the day, so must not be too bad. But
almost all the pan covers are exposed.
Yep.
The whole thing, but sometimes I wonder how much that really affects what's going on. Anyways, take care of him. Jake, here's the chipmunk, the mighty chipmunk.
Hags Trapping Products by J3 Outdoors, the most versatile and efficient trapping devices on the market.
All right, because of all the rain yesterday, at least this is not staying in the water, but what we're doing is we're catching the edge of the trap, pulling them out, and you can see that's just caked in mud in there. So we're dumping those out. And like I said, it's supposed to get pretty cold, so we're putting a little bit of a buffer down here with these cover holes. They got kind of a natural wax to them, so the trap won't freeze to the bed. We're just taking advantage of the mud and push that trap in there. We'll lift this up. Put a dry pan cover on. Then that wax paper also helps keep that loose jaw from freezing down. Cover with buckwheat hulls. And then we found some pretty dry dirt up on a mound. It is still damp, but we're doing some blending with that. Just to give a little more of a natural look. And then we'll kind of, I would say there's probably an inch of rain or better yesterday, so we're putting more lure and urine down too. Little finicky feline. And a little bobcat urine. And that gets us up and going. Hopefully it'll take care of the next 3 days with the much colder weather coming in. Freshens the setup and ready to go. Check that view out.
Holy, it's beautiful. Still rolling on check day 5, and it's still pretty early, and we're already doing better than yesterday, so I'm pleased with that. We got a gray back here right off the main road. This hadn't really been disturbed, I don't think, the whole time it's been here, so finally something came along and we connected. But the set was just right here on the side of this mound. Classic dirt hole, kind of fenced in with some sticks and rock for backing. Got top dog down in the hole. Vixen elixir and bobcat urine. So paid off. We're gonna remake. I'm just gonna refreshen it a little bit since we had so much rain. So a little bit of urine, maybe re-lure. I'll probably re-lure a little bit of long distance. That way we can just let it ride for the rest of the time that we're here. So.
I've been a professional trapper for over 40 years, and in that time, I've skinned literally thousands of animals. I've learned that it doesn't matter how cool a knife looks on your hip. What really matters is sharpness and reliability. And that's why I created the Weeby Wicked Sharp line of replacement blade knives. These are knives that will quickly skin your critters without skinning your wallet. Visit WeebyKnives.com to get the new Monarch folding knife with 3 replacement blades for just $19.95. Weeby Knives, Wicked Sharp.
All right, check day 5, like check day 4, pretty dismal. It was started out pretty strong. We had caught the 3 gray fox, even in sets that were somewhat washed out, and then it just all of a sudden just nosedived. We did catch a number of possums, and that's it. We actually spent the day basically pulling every set, cover holes. Dry, as dry dirt as we could find to blend them in on top. Did add some additional attractant, urine and lure, and that's how we spent the entire day. We just basically just did the last set. It's about 4 hours beyond, 3 to 3.5 hours beyond where we normally get done. So it took about 3.5 hours longer to get through the line because we're remaking all the sets, refreshing them all up, getting it prepared for the cold weather that's coming up. And so anyways, I still stand by. We're just not seeing the sign that we have in the past. Now there has been some sign of other trappers in here, but even still, when it comes to coyotes, we're just not seeing the droppings on the roads, that kind of thing. So typically in this 8 days we'll catch 14 to 17, 18 coyotes. And so far this year I think we've caught 4. So, and we've checked traps 5 days. So we're just not seeing the sign of the animals like we have in past years. We've had years in the past too that are like this, that are somewhat off in terms of numbers or population, or certainly in the areas that we're in. But that's just kind of the way it is. We were up with Mark Steck up in South Dakota on his snare line, and last season he did very, very well. He caught 220 some coyotes for the whole season, and this year he's way off, and he was saying too that in his area that they just did not have the number of coyotes that they did the year before. So there's clearly variations in seasons, variations in years that population levels and that kind of thing. So, and we'll see what happens next. We got 3 more check days. We'll see what happens in those next 3 check days. The weather's has not been great either, so that may have affected it as well. So, anyways, we'll see how the next 3 days play out. We're all prepared for them in terms of the weather, and like I said, we'll just see how things go. All right, question and answer. We had a fellow email concerning chain length on traps and stake and trap solid, that kind of thing. Wanting to know, likelihood of a coyote pulling a stake if the chain was longer, that kind of thing. Here's kind of a setup that we're working towards getting on all of our traps. It's basically 29 inches overall length. We're working off the original Minnesota brand chain length. At that point, we're adding a pre-bent rivet, and then we're using a JC Connor shock spring, another MB Crunch Proof swivel, rounding out the chain with the additional MB swivel. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 swivel points, and then we've got the shock spring in here, and then with the longer chain. This is kind of a Western setup. This idea of variations of this idea have been around for quite some time. It's basically, it keeps the animal somewhat occupied when they're caught till you can get there. And with all the swiveling and the shock spring, it takes a lot of the stress or the power off of a direct pull of the animal pulling against the trap or pulling against the stake. So this will work on a drag setup, and it certainly will work on a solid staked trap as well. As most of you know, we run a lot of drags when we're on our Arkansas line, but and this will work for that just fine. So this is just a good basic setup. Like I said, we're going to work towards getting us in all of our traps. Like I said, the overall length is 29 inches. You got a lot of swivel points, and with the JC Connor spring, should virtually eliminate any pullouts or animal losing any animals at all. So, and also the animal would be most comfortable with this setup as well. All right, this is kind of a product highlight, product review. The Fiber Tough baskets. Somebody had recently just sent an email, concerning those. He had read that they're heavy and the straps don't hold up very well over time or whatever. It has probably been close to 14, 15 years now since I have one. And I use it, have used it on the back of a four-wheeler, used it hiking in, that kind of thing. When certainly if you can just work directly out of the back of a truck or whatever, weight's not an issue. They just hold up so much better than a woven basket. They don't look as cool, they don't look as traditional, but they do hold up. And mine's, like I said, 13, 14, 15 years, whatever it's been, 14 or 15. It's held up very well. Two things that I did. One is I dropped the pouch. I just undid the rivets and dropped the pouch to the bottom. I'm sure that those of you that I've recommended this in the past on the past shows, drop the pouch to the bottom because that way it gets rid of the wanting to tip. And the other thing that I've run into, this right here is the weakest part of the whole basket. These are just plastic. So once those break, I just drilled those rivet holes out, and then I just use zip ties, and it worked quite well. The harness itself has held up very well. No issues with that. It's got the same harness on it that I started with, a long time ago. So overall, I'm more than pleased with the basket and how it's held up. This Fiber Tough material, I can't say that there's any show of any significant wear on it at all. It should last the rest of my lifetime. It's still in great shape. The plywood, this masonite top lid on here on mine, I mean, if you had it in a lot of rain or a lot of water, I mean, it's showing some where it's puffing up a little bit or whatever, but still it's still working. So anyways, I've overall very, very pleased with it. They're not that super heavy. I think they're about 8 or 9 pounds. But just a great tool for carrying your equipment in, whether you're working off a four-wheeler, the back of the truck, or hoofing it across the field. It's just a good all-around product.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. We have the new Hoosier Trapper Supply catalogs. Go ahead and visit us online at HoosierTrapperSupply.com and request one there, or you can just phone us here at the shop and we'll be glad to get you one. And if you're online, go ahead and register with us and we'll get you a newsletter, and that will have anything from trapping updates that are going on with us here at the shop as far as products, show updates. Every now and then Charlie's blog has a link on there. So, and we're going to be running product specials as well through there. So make sure you get online, sign up for that newsletter, and register with us. Also, I want to bring everyone up to speed with kind of a side project we've been doing. It's called the Fur Shed series, and it runs year-round. We're going to keep it rolling. There's no set date or time when these things come out. Anytime we feel like there's a trick or a tip or something that could help someone out, we'll go ahead and upload that right here on YouTube, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. And basically what that show's about is the fur shed. Anything inside or around that, as far as fur handling, the trap prep, and modifications, things that aren't necessarily dealt with in the field when you're trapping, will be right there in the Fur Shed series. So make sure you follow us and keep up with that. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and talk about the social media. Follow us online. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the list goes on. Find us. We're on there. We'll see you next time.
Join us on September 15th for the next episode of Who's Your Trapper Outdoors.